Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating. This is Shane with the Odyssey Hour podcast. I am without my beloved host, Derek D. Rush, right now. It's Christmas, so, people have lives and families. I already got that over with. I just spent it with my sister and her corgi Zeppelin, or Mr. Lin. Little guy is cute. We got him a bunch of toys. He's happy, and I'm happy. And I've had my cup of coffee, and we're just going to keep this really short and simple because it's just me. So I've never just talked into a microphone. I feel like this is going to be similar to the Monday morning podcast with Bill Burr, but much, 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 much worse. Not funny at all, probably. But yeah, let's have a nice little recap. Started a business last week. That was cool. I think I was humbled a little bit by my expectations. I thought I was going to sign on and just have a bunch of people wanting to sign up, and that obviously didn't happen. It's the holidays too, so my perspective was a little skewed. But I had a blast just making content, creating social posts, working on my website, making blogs, all sorts of good stuff there. I'm obviously going to continue doing that throughout, but it'll probably be more of the same for next week. Again, nobody's really looking to jump the gun to hire a marketing agency right now, especially after a holiday where it would have probably been more useful to have a marketing person before your holidays versus kind of in between. But come January, people are setting their budgets for 2025, reevaluating, and that's really where I'm hoping to start to sign some people up, start to kind of get some people on board. And that'll kind of give me more time to build up my credibility too, because let's face it, it's hard being a marketer when your Facebook page has 17 likes. You have 10 posts. Doesn't really make you seem like you're a social media whiz when you're just rocking rookie numbers. And you're basically doing this on a shoestring budget. I'm not really spending that much money on digital ads. I dropped $20 to boost some posts. That kind of helped. Doing it on Meta Business Suite was cool. It kind of lets you build your audiences a little bit better versus just doing it in the app. And also just being able to set a campaign just for a purpose too. Just being able to, for example, trying to get more exposure to your page, more followers, more likes. That's always key too when you're just building a brand. Because I'm not really expecting my 10-post social media profiles to really be driving in the conversions yet. But that's where just making content and being regular about it is where that kind of growth starts from. But anyways, man, also reflecting back that first episode, sounded a little rough. We were both a little nervous, especially getting started. Podcasting is definitely something that you ease into. It's awkward to listen to yourself in front of a mic and to record a conversation, even when you are formatting your show as being unscripted and unserious. You still feel like you're playing a character almost a little bit, just because naturally you're not having a conversation with a microphone and headphones and you're not recording everything. Hopefully you're not. But yeah, listening back, it's funny when you pick up on all of your little isms, as I like to say, or your nothing words. So for me, I use so a lot. I use like, I dropped a lot of those in my speech, and it's frankly a little embarrassing listening back. So yeah, now it's every time you hear one of those little isms, you just want to pinch yourself and run away because it sounds sucky. But yeah, that was a good learning experience. It's also fun just to create something that's unrelated to your business, just for the sake of creating it. I think is fun. It's nice getting to reconnect with my buddy Derek. We have finally reconnected after many years of just having our own lives, living in different cities. And now that I'm 10 minutes away, I can bug him a lot more. So that's really nice as well. And yeah, moving forward, I hope to bring on more speakers besides just myself today and just Derek. But it's fun. It's a good little creative outlet for us. It's funny. It's unexpected, especially the part where, yeah, in my mind I was cringing a little bit when Derek's brought up strippers last week, but but that is a part of life, I guess. So yeah, let's talk about it. Why not? So, and that's the whole point, is this thing to be like unscripted, be authentic. And so, yeah, we're not just going to keep it PG. We might be PG-13, so if you're a parent, be on high alert. But anyways, it's nice to kind of trying to tie this back a little bit. As a marketer, I've been focusing a lot on my brand and kind of building my brand identity. And before I started this company, I wrote all this stuff down, and I thought it was going to be very strict, similar to when I was working with other people, where I was following some companies I worked with had strict branding guidelines where, if you use the wrong shade of phthalo blue or whatever, or Prussian blue, you're in the doghouse, right? But now when it's your own company, I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to throw this stupid little script that I wrote out the door, and I'm going to be authentic and personal. And I think that's what's going to work. To me, I believe that people want to shop or want to do business with people, right? Your logo, which to me, like, I initially started looking at my logo and I was like, God, this thing's kind of dumb. This thing's a little shitty. I could have done a better job or spent more time on it, especially considering the fact that I crafted this thing after being out of marketing for a couple of years, working in retail management and coming back to it and having to kind of work with design tools again, which was fun. But I was just thinking, I was like, this thing looks a little amateur. But going back to it, I'm like, who cares? You need to have a logo. I'm not gonna make my face my logo just because my company's called Odyssey Marketing Group, which implies that yes, there's more than just me. Even though right now it kind of is just me, although Drush Media are my media and videography, photography partners. And the reason I, of course, called it that is because I want my company to grow and I want to hire people one day. So eventually I do want to be a group. But for right now, it's just me. So I thought being the name, having it be group, and having just myself or my lovely face being my logo just seemed a little off. It didn't seem right to me. So of course I made a logo, but as I found out when it comes to outreach, the little amount of outreach I've done, which has mostly been just direct messaging or sending out like branded emails or doing a few email campaigns. I kind of tied in a happy holidays and welcome to Odyssey Marketing Group email all in one that I sent out, which had a pretty good engagement. I mean, my open rate was like 30%, which is awesome. My list was only 70 people. Click through was like at 15, and I've gotten a few form submissions and text and phone calls. And I think the reason why that worked so well was because I started my email with a lot of personalization. So my from address is just Shane Dowdy. The people I emailed on my list, they know me. They've known me for the last 2 years. And my lead image, like in my email header itself, was a picture of me and not just my company logo, because I figured that I would resonate a lot better with my audience than my logo. Because people are saying, who the fuck is Odyssey Marketing Group? They have their 12 Instagram followers and their 17 Facebook followers, and they've posted 5 times on LinkedIn, and they have one low quality YouTube video and some weird reels and like some botched jobs, like my little Creed posts. So that doesn't really build too much credibility, just seeing this logo of a marketing company. But what does build credibility is me, and these are people that I like, that I worked together with for the last 2 years. So to me, I was thinking about, okay, well, I need to build Odyssey Marketing Group. I need to separate the brand from the person. And now I'm starting to realize, no, you don't, because really your brand is just an extension of yourself. So show yourself. And it's weird being in this position of owning something and building a brand, because I've always been a behind the scenes guy. I was the marketing manager, so I was the quarterback. I was driving the strategy, and I was sitting in my little desk chair and just brainstorming and then chatting to designers and social media managers and content writers and ad managers, being like, "Hey, you should do this for me," and then walking away and reviewing it, right? But now I'm the one who has to do all of it, so I'm forcing myself to be comfortable and getting in front of a camera, and it's honestly not that scary. The first few times I felt like I was trying to over rehearse things, trying to maybe knowledge flex, or just coming off as, for example, here, to explain it in a better way, I would do my hair and let's put on a nice sweater and let's look professional. And yeah, like, I'm not just sitting here wearing sweatpants and my man thong underneath this, but I'm me. I'm just wearing a shirt like a normal freaking dude would. And that's who I'm marketing to. That's my audience, right? I'm marketing to contractors and home service pros. They're, for the most part, just normal people, right? Most part. But anyways, they're normal people. That's who they resonate with. They're not suit and tie people. You're not talking to your roofer. Hopefully, isn't wearing a sport coat and a fedora. Otherwise, I had to question the quality of work or if they're the ones actually doing it, right? So they're normal people. They wear t-shirts, and that's okay. And that's who my brand is. If I was going after more, white collar services, trying to be more of like, if I'm going after lawyers or financial institutions, then yeah, I would kind of snazz up my my look a little bit, right? But I'm not. So I even feel like some of my pictures on my website where I'm wearing like a blazer, or I don't know the difference between a blazer and a sport coat. Someone could please tell me, that'd be great. But I'm wearing a sport coat and a little button shirt and a nice pair of pants. And I even put on the nice shoes just so I felt like it was complete. And even now, I'm like, that doesn't really fit me. I don't dress like that. That jacket I have was when I was 160 pounds. It's like super thin. It almost looks like I'm kind of like the Chris Farley on, was it Tommy, or is it Tommy Boy, where he's like, fat guy in a little coat. I mean, that's kind of how I feel wearing that. So it's uncomfortable. So I'm even thinking about changing that stuff up. Although I did take a bunch of pictures, and I kind of just want to keep them because I don't like taking pictures of myself. But one of the things that's nice is when it's yours, just who cares? Just take the picture. It's fine. I did a little reel of me being in a hot tub, which I don't know if I was showing a little too much skin. I mean, it was just from the neck up, but even that was fun. It was just like, yeah, dude, I'm a normal guy. I'm in a hot tub right now. Who cares? I'm in a hot tub and I'm going to make a 30-second reel. I think on that note, too, when it comes to videos and reels and that type of thing, just don't script it. If you drop a so, a like, a have a little bit of an odd pause, maybe you're speaking a little too quickly, don't care. I mean, who cares? I mean, the point is that you're giving valuable content. I mean, of course, if you're sounding just like a buffoon and you're not getting your point across in a time frame that is going to connect with your audience, if you're taking forever using filler words, that for me is one of the big things that I struggle with, are filler words, especially when I'm writing. When I'm writing a blog post, the amount of clauses and subjunctives, I sound like a hooked on phonics man right now, but the amount of therefore, the blah blah blah, it's just say, get rid of the word therefore. Get rid of the as you can, instead of saying as you can tell, this is an effective strategy. You just say, this is an effective strategy. Get to the fucking point. So that's how I feel when I'm speaking in reels too, and it really has helped my writing out quite a bit, just to chop things down. Because I've struggled with that, not even just as a marketer, but being in college. I think college taught me a lot about how to bullshit and write longer than you need to when you're forced to write not really forced, when your professors give you ample amount of time to write an essay and you're waiting the night before and you're just trying to stretch that word count so you hit the 3,000 or just so you hit the page counts. Dropping so many. Therefore, as the results from this study have indicated, instead of just saying the results indicate, right? Just adding 5-6 different words to say the same thing. It's kind of a bad practice, but and sometimes that sticks with you. But I think just speaking, and especially when you're making short form content, I've realized that you want to get your point across relatively quickly. If you look at just some basic data from your reels, you can always see where people drop off at, right? Like if you're not landing them or enticing them within that first probably 2-3 seconds max, then they're just gonna scroll up, right? They're not gonna stick around. And if they do stick around, on average, they're probably sticking around for what I've noticed is usually around 17 to 25 seconds. So I'm trying to keep everything about 30 to 40. With really being like that good stuff, being hitting them within that time frame where they're sticking around to. And I think about that in my own right when I'm just bored scrolling through Instagram. I mean I'm not, unless something catches me. It's so easy just to go next, 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 next. Right? We have such a short attention span when it comes to reels, so bring something that entices them. Have something fun, don't be afraid to be funny. Even if it doesn't end up being funny, it's funny to you, just do it. I mean, that's one of the things that I've really loved and what I've really honed in is like, just do it. Because I've always just kind of had that in the back of my mind, just working like at an agency where I just wasn't always encouraged to be creative. I always felt like I was just being sometimes I felt like I was just being stale with content. And now that it's mine, I'm just gonna go for it. We'll see if the audience likes it, and if not, it's a 17-second reel. You're not gonna I mean, I should say that there's some things where you could shatter your reputation or lose people, but for the most part, if it didn't land, if it wasn't quite as catchy, if it wasn't quite as insightful or funny, then move on. You'll make something else, and that's fine. So sometimes you just kind of have to create for the sake of it. Although also having said that too, I'm going to go back on that a little bit, and that's, yeah, you also, what I've learned this week too is you don't always have to just create. Not everything has to just be brand spanking new or some revolutionary idea. I think it's good to kind of keep a thought log and just write things down that you think are interesting and set some time away or set some time down to explore them a little bit more and in further detail before you just publish them. But sometimes it's just, oh, you get a quick idea, let's just film it. I don't know. We might use it. We might not. Who cares? And I think that's really effective, just to show your authenticity. Kind of going back to, myself and creating a brand is I'm wanting to be an authentic. I'm just trying to show who I am because I like who I am. I don't have anything to hide, so I'm not trying to just slap a logo on there and kind of remove all elements of personalization because as a small business that's just starting out, I'm working off of a lot of referrals right now. So referrals, since they know me, require personalization. Referrals aren't going to, there becomes a time and a place where personalization, I think, gets lost. If you look at a company like Walmart or Amazon, you're not really expecting that Sam from Amazon customer service is a real person. I mean, if anything, when a company gets that big, when I hear that it's like a name Sam, I'm thinking, oh, this is like a fake. This is like a fake account trying to steal my information. I mean, I've experienced that a lot this week just with Facebook, and I get these like weird fake Facebook admin accounts that say, "Oh, your Facebook page is going to be permanently deleted for violating our terms and service," and it'll be like, Raul1965 at hotmail.com, right? I mean, it's a pretty easy way to snuff out the bullshit, but when it's coming from Facebook or something like that, you're almost not wanting to see a person because it's such a big organization that you're not really, the personalization element isn't really there. You're just like, you're not expected to talk to a person. But when you're a company that has 10 Facebook followers and that's operating off of a laptop right now that they bought just at the start of this week to effectively run their business, then yeah, you are expecting the personalization. So, you don't have this like massive brand yet, so don't hide behind it. Just attach yourself to the brand, and it's pretty easy to do. You just have to show who you are and just be consistent with it and be unapologetic. Just, you are who you are, and that's a good thing. That's something that people trust. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, we're gonna go. Oh god, yeah. Kind of get back to like making content too. One thing that, yeah, it's just, I think what's nice is that you don't always have to like reinvent the wheel. Oftentimes you can just kind of go off of things that you already have, make things a little bit better, maybe maybe you wrote like a blog post and you just want to make a short little video talking about it. It's easy, right? So that's kind of, as a creator, that's something that I've noticed, is just use some of the assets that you have and just enhance them, make those a little bit better. You don't always have to be the idea man, and you don't have to change the world with every piece of content you have. But if you just focus on making something better, then maybe that'll stick to like the next person. So that's been great. I think moving forward, as I go into next week, it'll be exciting. I'm gonna be a little bit more, I guess, involved in just coming up with different sales strategies. I'm not gonna cold call anyone just after the holidays. A lot of people are kind of out to lunch until after the new year. Nobody really wants to get a call that says, "Hi, this is Shane with Odyssey Marketing Group." It's like, fuck you. Like, I'm trying to enjoy my family. Don't try to sell me anything. So, you're kind of playing that fine line. But one of the things that I've done this week that was helpful and that I give Derek DeRush a lot of credit for was just creating kind of something that's personal. Going back to personalization is just creating, if you're trying to sell your service, make it about your customer, not about you. I think it's huge. One of the things that I've been doing is just designing out these branded templates that just outline my services. And it's nothing like new. All the information's on my website, but instead of just saying, "Hey, I want to sell you marketing services, check out my website to learn more and sign up. Take my money, bitch." Instead of being like that, I'm making something that's branded to these businesses. So I'll like include their logo, or I'll just like design them a logo if they don't have one, because a lot of these businesses are brand new to digital marketing. And I just put together a little guide of like how I can help them, what my services are, how much it costs, my contact info. That's it. Like, it's super easy. It's 5 pages. Everything's laid out in infographics. There's not a bunch of reading. And every single one of them, I've gotten responses. I send them out, and it takes like an hour at most to get a response back, just because it's personal. And even though, to be honest, I'm not just like reinventing these templates for every customer. I just don't tell them that, but I'm just kind of swapping things out, and maybe I do a little bit more work when I'm making a logo for them. But that's it. I have like a template that I do, and I personalize it to every customer or to every potential client, and I get a response from it. It just kind of starts a conversation rolling. And then, I think moving forward, you just want to engage them by providing them with useful information. So, it's always kind of step one is to like, how do you entice your lead? And then now it's time to, think of ways that we can keep them engaged throughout my process to hopefully getting them to sign up with me. And, that's, I think, sending them helpful information that's relevant to their business. So a lot of my content that I make currently is just kind of showing, my knowledge on a subject, and also just kind of encouraging and just kind of creating kind of quick and easy ways that people can market themselves. Because I'm a DIY startup company. Even though I do have experience, this is all completely self-funded. I haven't made $1 yet. So I'm working on all the cheap and cost-effective ways that I can better market myself, and I'm sharing that with others. And I think that's important, because that's kind of who I am as a brand. Is like I'm kind of your auto mechanic marketing guy versus the big swanky dealership that doesn't value this, that values the sales over the service, right? Where I'm kind of the opposite. I'm not really the sale. I've never really loved being like the sales guy. I don't get a hard on for cold calls. like I don't. Not to dog on cold calling. I mean, some people are great at it. Like, I've gotten cold called before, and I'm like, shit, I did not need this, but I'm thinking about it right now. Because some people are just natural salesmen. I don't really feel that way. I feel I can connect with people, but the way that I connect with people is just by making them something and then showing it off, versus just giving them a call out the blue. I don't always feel like I'm the most effective at that, especially when I have to like leave a voicemail. That's like the worst, because I know the second I leave a voicemail, I'm like, nobody's calling that shit back. Maybe because I leave a 2-minute voicemail and nobody wants to listen to that. But anyways, I think all I've got for right now. It's just me So we already broke our first rule of the Odyssey Hour podcast, and that is this is not an hour, but I don't think I have anything more to say. We're already 25 minutes. So enjoy your Christmas. Have a great New Year's. We'll be talking to you soon. I'll be coming with you next. Coming with you. Coming, just showing some more content next week, hopefully with Derek or someone else. That's it. Ending and starting a podcast is the most awkward thing. But cheers and Merry Christmas.